Ever wake up one day and realize your whole marriage has been one long, carefully orchestrated scam? Like you've been downgraded from wife and mother to part-time babysitter who also pays the bills. Yeah. That's me right now. So, let's rewind. Timothy and I have this storybook origin story people always awed over. We met in 2016, when that freak flood shut down our little town. Roads closed, cell towers out, everyone stranded. He and I were stuck in this dingy diner for 6 hours with a bunch of locals, playing cards by flashlight while rain hammered outside. I should have been panicking. Instead, he cracked jokes until I was laughing like a maniac. Felt like fate, right? We swapped Instagrams once service came back, started dating a month later, married 2 years after that. 8 years together. Our daughter Avery is 6 now, my literal heartbeat, this tiny tornado of glitter and energy. Always dancing, always climbing furniture, always spinning until she crashes. She's chaos and she's perfect. A few months back, Avery came home from school absolutely buzzing. Her friend Olivia had started ballet. They got to wear real ballet shoes. Could she do it too? Please 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 mommy. I thought, finally, something perfect for all that wild energy. So that night, I pitched the idea to Timothy. And he laughed. Not a sweet laugh. Not a, that's cute, honey, laugh. A dismissive, sharp little snort. We can't afford luxuries like dance classes on my salary alone. If you want her to do expensive activities, maybe you should contribute more. I froze. Because excuse me. We agreed I'd cut back to part-time after Avery was born. He wanted it that way too. And last I checked, we weren't living in poverty. We've got a modest house, 2 paid-off cars, bills handled. No lavish vacations, sure, but not dire straits either. Dance class is $60 a month. 60. But suddenly, I was the deadbeat spouse draining the family dry. When I pushed back, he whipped out the bank app and shoved numbers in my face. How little was left after bills. The math looked off. But he's always been the numbers guy. He's managed our finances since day one. I couldn't articulate what felt wrong. So I swallowed my pride and said, fine. I'll pick up another job. Enter, my second life as a diner waitress. Day job, then straight into night shifts, 4 days a week. I'd come home stinking of fryer grease, feet screaming, body wrecked. And Timothy? He'd roll his eyes and say I was being dramatic. Even told me, word for word, you don't deserve to be tired if you barely contribute financially. I'll never forget that. But I sucked it up, because this was for Avery. Except Avery never got enrolled in ballet. Not once. Every time I asked, Timothy had excuses. Studio full. Next session coming up. Needed to save more. Meanwhile, weird stuff started creeping in. Like Avery coming home with toys I didn't buy. Talking about trips to the zoo on nights I worked. Or casually mentioning Lisa. Daddy's friend. Lonely coworker going through a divorce. Hung out sometimes. Good with kids. Adult conversation while I was gone. At first I brushed it off. I mean, okay, maybe. But then Avery started slipping these daggers into my heart. Asking if Lisa could come to my birthday. Saying Lisa takes better photos than me. Calling me Mira sometimes, because apparently Lisa does. Like I'm a side character who doesn't even get her own name. I checked Timothy's socials. No Lisa. No trace. When I pressed him about her, he snapped that I was paranoid. That his friendships weren't up for discussion. And then, the lies. One night, I came home early from the diner. House empty. His car gone. He texted back finally, ice cream run. Except Avery walked through the door bubbling about the new cartoon movie they just saw. In a brand new outfit. And yes, Lisa was there. That night I confronted him. Asked why he lied. Why our daughter had new clothes when we were supposedly too broke for dance. Who exactly Lisa was to our family. And he looked me dead in the eye with this coldness I didn't recognize. Then he said, maybe if you were more fun, she'd still call you mommy. I stood there, gutted. I didn't scream. Didn't cry. Just nodded and walked away, because what the hell do you even say to that? That was 5 months ago. Since then, I've watched everything unravel. He has work dinners every time I'm home. Avery slips up about sleepovers at Lisa's. Credit card charges at restaurants, movies, new clothes, even a smartwatch for him, but still, no ballet for Avery. Then came the nuclear bomb. Cleaning Avery's room, I found a stash of photos hidden in her dresser. Pictures of Timothy, Avery, and this stranger, Lisa, obviously, at amusement parks, water parks, even Christmas gatherings. Dates scribbled on the back. This has been going on for over a year. And the kicker? One photo of Avery in a tutu, full ballet outfit. Meaning Timothy did enroll her in classes. With Lisa. Behind my back. All while telling me we couldn't afford it. Forcing me to kill myself at a diner to save up. The next morning, Avery asked me, between bites of Cheerios, if Lisa was going to be her new mommy someday. Because Daddy and Lisa are special friends. And she sleeps in Daddy's room when I stay at her house. I nearly dropped my coffee. So yeah. That's my life right now. My husband used me like a babysitter, gaslit me into working 2 jobs, and is raising our daughter with his mistress while I break my back to earn the life we already had. But I'm not stupid. Not anymore. I've started pulling records, gathering receipts, screenshots, photos. I booked a lawyer. And I've rearranged my diner schedule so I'm with Avery, not Lisa. He wanted me tired, invisible, out of the way. He wanted Lisa to slide into my role while I worked myself into the ground. But I see it now. And I'm done. The other night, Avery was chattering away about her school friends, as she always does. I decided to test the waters. I asked, casual as you please, if she still wanted those dance classes. Her entire face lit up like Christmas morning. That was my answer. So the next day, I drove straight to the same dance studio Olivia attends, signed Avery up on the spot, and paid 3 months in advance, cash, straight from the diner tips I'd been hoarding. No way was I letting Timothy twist this into another "we can't afford it" excuse. When I told Avery, she literally jumped up and down in the parking lot, squealing, begging to tell Lisa. I kept my face neutral and told her this was our thing. Just mommy and Avery. Lisa didn't need to know everything. That weekend was her first class. I bought her a little black leotard and those tiny satin ballet slippers she'd been begging for. She twirled around the living room until she fell over laughing. My baby was glowing. But Timothy? He was off. Quiet. His eyes lingered too long on the dance bag when we came home. Finally, he asked where the money came from. I told him I'd been saving for something special for Avery. He didn't push, but his jaw was tight. He wasn't happy. And while Avery was spinning in her slippers, I was digging deeper. I finally found Lisa's Instagram. Private, of course, but the profile photo confirmed it was her, the woman from Avery's hidden stash of pictures. I pulled her LinkedIn, too. Surprise, surprise, she works at Timothy's company. But the real gut punch? I uncovered property records. A condo. Bought just 2 months after Timothy claimed money was so tight that I needed to take extra diner shifts. That condo wasn't just numbers on a paper, it was the other house Avery would later spill to me about. Every discovery made me angrier, but also more determined. I started quietly building my arsenal. Backup copies of every document. My own bank account at a different branch. Slow transfers from diner tips into it. I handed copies of the most damning evidence to my mom, just in case. She knows we're having issues, but I haven't told her everything yet. Last Tuesday, I sat down with a lawyer. I spilled everything: secret accounts, the condo, the vacations, the photos of my daughter with Lisa. The lawyer just listened, scribbling notes, occasionally asking me to clarify dates or details. When I finished, she put her pen down, looked me in the eye, and asked, "What do you want?" And for the first time, I really thought about it. I want my daughter, fully. I want financial stability that doesn't hinge on a man who's been lying for years. I want to never again feel insane for connecting dots he's tried to erase. I want Lisa out of my child's life. I want Timothy to face every consequence of what he's done. The lawyer nodded. With what I'd gathered, she said, I had grounds for a favorable divorce settlement. Her advice: keep collecting evidence. Play it cool. Don't tip my hand yet. Meanwhile, Avery is thriving. She loves her dance classes. She even asked me to practice with her at home, bossing me around like a tiny teacher. And yesterday, she called me "mommy" again, for the first time in months. I had to excuse myself to the bathroom so she wouldn't see me crying. But Timothy? He's unraveling. He's on his phone constantly, coming home later, leaving earlier. Last night, I caught him outside on a hushed phone call. I couldn't hear much, but the fragments I did were chilling. She's suspicious, asking questions, need more time. I pretended not to notice. Then things exploded. He came home from work tense, pacing the kitchen while I made dinner. Checking his watch every few minutes. Finally, he snapped. Asked when I was going to give up this dance class nonsense, since it was a waste of money. I didn't even look up from chopping vegetables. Told him calmly, Avery loves it, and I've already paid for 3 months. That's when he lost it. Slammed his hand on the counter so hard the dishes rattled. Demanded to know where the money came from. I finally looked up, knife still in my hand, and told him flatly, I'd been saving my tips. My money. For our daughter. His face flickered, anger, then fear. He stormed out, slamming the door. Avery came running, scared, asking where Daddy went. I told her he needed some air. Then we turned it into a girls' night: pizza, nail polish, and pirouettes in the living room. He didn't come home until after midnight. I pretended to be asleep. This morning, his mother texted me about their anniversary party next weekend. Said they couldn't wait to see us. Then casually added that Timothy's dad was excited to finally meet his friend, Lisa, who would also be attending. Read that again. His parents' anniversary party. A family gathering. And Timothy has not only introduced Lisa to them, he's bringing her as his guest. I texted back, all cheerful, that of course we'd be there. How lovely it would be to finally meet Lisa myself. Screenshot saved, obviously. Then I called my lawyer. Told her I think I've just found the perfect battlefield. A family event where Timothy can't blow up. Where his parents will be watching. Where Lisa will be right there. The lawyer said it's risky. But it could be powerful. She told me to prepare. To print only the clearest documents. Evidence that can't be hand-waved away. So here I am, 1 week out, assembling what my mom calls my FU folder. Bank statements. Property deeds. Photos. Everything neat, undeniable, ready to drop like a bomb. I am done being the tired waitress funding my own replacement. Done being gaslit about money problems while he builds a secret life with his mistress. Done watching another woman steal my place as Avery's mother. The mask is slipping. And I'm ready. It started with the roses. 8 years together, and Timothy has only bought me flowers twice. Once while we were dating, once after Avery was born. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, a giant vase of roses on the kitchen counter, with a card that read, "I love our family." They weren't apology flowers. They were I know you know flowers. I shoved them into the guest bathroom like they were evidence and went about my day. But by then, Timothy was unraveling. Calls all day, 17 missed while I was at the lawyer's office. When I finally answered, he sounded frantic, asking where I was, where Avery was, if we were okay. I lied, told him we were just shopping for Avery's dress for his parents' anniversary party. He calmed down, said he'd be home with pizza and ice cream. That night, he played Super Dad, Homework Helper, Game Master, Bath Time Volunteer. He even sat beside me on the couch afterward, closer than he's dared in months, spouting lines about family vacations and our future. His hand in mine, his palms slick with sweat. And then, with a shaky smile, he asked if I was still planning on going to his parents' anniversary party. I told him yes, of course. Why wouldn't I? The relief on his face was almost cartoonish. Then he casually slipped in, Lisa wouldn't be there. Family emergency. I just smiled, said what a shame, it would have been nice to finally meet her. The next morning, I woke up to find Timothy watching me sleep. Not in a tender way, in a nervous, paranoid way, like he was monitoring me. Later, I caught him scrolling through my phone. He dropped it when I cleared my throat, eyes wide like a kid caught stealing. That's when I knew. I needed backup. I drove to my mom's, spilled everything. Every flower, every panic call, every lie. I begged her to come back with me that day. 10 minutes later, she was in my car, bag packed. When we pulled into my driveway, Timothy was already on the porch, arms crossed. The second he saw my mom sitting in the passenger seat, his face drained. He pasted on a smile, tried to play charming while flicking me these panicked side glances when she wasn't watching. That night, I told him I'd be staying with Mom, lied about helping her set up for a brunch. He tried to argue, but with my mother standing right there, he couldn't push. So there I was at Mom's house. Evidence folder packed. Dress for the party laid out. Lawyer on standby. Tomorrow was the day. The anniversary party didn't go the way I imagined. We arrived just after 3. Timothy was pacing outside, shirt wrinkled, eyes darting. He rushed to me the second I opened the car door, whispering we needed to talk. I brushed past him, told him I'd see his parents first. Inside, the house was warm, full of photos of his parents 40 years together. Guests sipping drinks. His mom hugging Avery, complimenting her dress. Then she turned to me and said she was glad I made it, because Timothy told her I might be stuck at work. That cut deeper than I expected. He'd been planting seeds. Little excuses, stories, in case I didn't show. I held it together. Told her I'd arranged my schedule weeks ago. Smiled. Then, when lunch was being served, I pulled out the folder. Handed it straight to her. Something you should see about our family, I said. She flipped through. The secret bank transfers. The property deed. The photos of Avery with Lisa. Her face shifted from confusion to disbelief to horror. Timothy lunged for it, muttering it wasn't what it looked like. His dad stepped in, took the folder, and read every page in silence. Timothy sputtered excuses, the money was for something else, the photos were old, I misunderstood. Hollow. Finally, his dad looked up and asked one question, "Is this all true?" Timothy's mouth opened and closed. He stammered something about our marriage being tough. It didn't land. His mom asked why I hadn't said anything sooner. I told her I'd only uncovered the full truth recently. She nodded, but her face was torn, like she didn't know where to put the betrayal. Then the doorbell rang. Lisa walked in. Gift bag in hand, smile plastered on like she belonged there. Timothy went pale, rushed to her side, whispering desperately. She froze when she saw me. Didn't say a word. But Timothy's sister did. She asked Lisa if she knew Timothy was married. Lisa hesitated, then admitted yes, but he told her we were separated, only staying together, for Avery. His sister pulled out a photo from the folder. Our Christmas picture. All three of us together in front of the tree. "Does that look separated to you?" she asked. Lisa didn't answer. She just left. Timothy trailed after her, babbling about explaining later. By then, the party was chaos. His dad eventually came to me, asked if it was all accurate. I said yes. He nodded, said he was sorry. His mom kept glancing at me all evening, guilt in her eyes, but I didn't stay long. I thanked them, apologized for how it turned out, and left with Avery. It's been 3 weeks since that day. The divorce is filed. Temporary custody for Avery is in motion. Timothy's fighting back, saying I'm trying to cut him out. He moved out, took clothes, random garage stuff. Probably hiding at the condo. Avery asks about him constantly. Sometimes she cries herself to sleep, begging to know why Daddy doesn't come home, why Lisa doesn't visit. It destroys me every time. I cut back diner shifts so I can be home after school. Money's tight. Timothy's supposed to pay support, but nothing's finalized. The only thing keeping me sane is watching Avery in her dance classes, twirling in that little black leotard, her joy untouched, for now. Timothy's shown up at the diner twice. Once begging to talk, once waiting outside until my shift ended. Both times, I shut him down. He's still texting, short, pathetic messages about missing us. I don't reply. His parents called last weekend. His mom asked about Avery, her voice heavy with guilt. Said they didn't realize how bad things had gotten. I told her I don't blame them, but I need space. And then, my lawyer uncovered the truth about the money. Timothy had been taking secret side contracts through work. Hidden jobs. Funneled every dollar into that second account. That's how he bought the condo, funded the trips, built his shadow life. While I was rolling silverware at the diner to buy Avery ballet shoes, he was padding his second family's future with money I never knew existed. That's the part that still guts me. Not just the lies. Not just the betrayal. But that he watched me scrape, save, and exhaust myself, while he quietly funneled resources into the woman who was supposed to replace me. And I think the only thing that hurts worse is realizing, he might have actually pulled it off if I hadn't found that photo. But I did. And now, it's my turn.